Okay, so when we look at the stats unit, we're going to kind of discover what we're supposed to do. And we're going to go kind of back and forth between either the graphing calculator, or we'll go through and look at the app that is available to you guys. So we're going to first start off with, when we do our class discussion, we broke into groups to look to see what social media students use. So we went through and we made a list. And so you would do this in your group. You would go through and you'd be like, okay, well, what social media does everybody in the group use? And so we would write down what those things are. Like Twitter is obviously not Twitter anymore. It's X, but like Instagram. We'll have to update our little images. Snapchat. And anything else that you guys as a group decide that is a social media app. And then you're going to predict, like, which app do you think will be the favorite? Which one do you think that people use a lot? I might think that it was Instagram. And now we're going to collect data. So we would collect data for the entire class. So this is what I did is we went through and I wrote this up on the board. So we had the social media, and then we had frequency. And then we had a relative frequency. And all I had every group do was send a member up to the front of the board to go ahead and write down the social media and put little tally marks to represent how many people in their group actually use it. So we started off with TikTok before it got banned and then reinstated. And so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for TikTok. And then we had Instagram. And it looks like we had 18 of them. And then we had Red Note, which apparently I'm old. I have no idea what Red Note is, but this class period put Red Note. The other class period didn't, so I don't know. I'll have to Google and see what Red Note is all about, so I can not be old and stick with the times. And then YouTube. And then there was 9. And then we had Snapchat. And that was 8. And then we had Pinterest, which was also 8. And then we had Twitch and we had Discord. I have a Twitch account. I streamed math on Twitch during the middle of COVID. And then Discord was 2. So now, frequency is how often that it happens. Relative frequency is how much it happens over the total possibility. So there's 59 if you add up like 6 and 18 and 7 and 9 and 8 and 8 and 1 and 2. You get a total of 59. And so this would be 6 out of 59. And typically we do this as a percentage, but I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as fractions right now. My relative frequency. And you could go ahead and use a calculator and get the actual percentages. Do 8 divided by 59, for example, and then multiply by 100. And that would give you the percentages. So now what I want is I want a bar chart and a pie chart. So it says go to statsmedic.com/applets. Choose one categorical variable, single group, and then sketch the bar and the pie chart below. So if I go to my Chrome here, one categorical variable. So we would type in like TikTok. Oops. And then we would put in 6. And then we had Instagram. And we would put in 18. And then we would, oops, I cannot spell. And then red note was 7. And I just keep hitting the plus symbol to get more. YouTube is 9. Snapchat was 8. Pinterest is also 8. And then Twitch is 1. And Discord is 2. Oops. And then what I want to do is I want to hit begin analysis, and it gives me my bar chart. And I'm going to want to take that bar chart here, and I'm going to want to copy that over into my notes for number 5. And then what's important to make sure is that you label the y-axis as frequency and the x-axis as category. And then you equally space out, and everything is kind of drawn to scale. Okay, then I'm going to change this to pie chart, and it gives me my pie chart. What's important about pie chart is that you could either shade them in different colors, or then you're like, one of the areas has to be little dots, and the other one has to be shaded one direction, and then one of them has to be stripes, and one of them has to be plaid, and so it gets like kind of weird. Okay, but essentially you're going to want to copy this pie chart down in number 6, which is here. So your bar chart would go here, your pie chart would go here. What's the difference? So the difference is that the pie chart shows relative frequency, and the bar chart shows regular frequency. Okay, and then that is it for the notes for this section. The one thing that you would want to do is you would want to recap everything, which I guess we can do real quick before I end the video, which is here's the bar chart. Right, and so you had your category. And then you have things labeled here, and this is labeled frequency. And this is labeled category. And then you have your pie chart. And the idea behind these things, right, these quick notes, is that you would use this to study for the quiz or the test. So you'd have one shaded this way and one like dots, right? And then you'd have like dots is category 1. And then you'd have like shading is category 2. And you'd have to have a key for your pie chart, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. And then other things that are important, right, is your pie chart and your bar chart, what they show. So pie chart shows relative, so you would want to recopy this over. Pie chart shows relative frequency, and the bar chart shows just frequency. And then make sure that you label your axis, okay? And that is it for the notes for this section.